you said, I'm willing to walk, like I'm willing to walk away. So this is the most powerful technique, or in your words, frame in sales, is the takeaway. When you are willing to walk away, people will lean into that. People will want you more. And I've even told people, when people say, I'm really happy, I go, look, anytime you're happy, you should never think about changing. And they will go, well, I could change if I wanted to. I mean, it's just reactive. It's so easy. So you say, I'm willing to walk away. Now you've got them in both sides, right? They really want you and they don't like to lose. And you're dealing with a CEO, and CEOs freaking hate to lose.
How soon in your mind do you do a takeaway?
I typically do a takeaway from the very get-go. So when I sit down with someone, so if you think about the sales motion, let's forget about enterprise level deal, right? But let's talk about what Joe Schmo is going to be working on every single day. 3 to 5 close, or 3 to 5 visit close. So on the very first call, the initial sales visit, I only have 2 objectives. My objective number 1 is to just make sure that they're fully qualified and I'm willing to spend more time with them, right? And number 2, typically that means I'm not dealing with assholes, right? I walk away from people I don't want to do business with. So are they qualified? And to create enough interest to compel them to want to spend more time with me. Really simple stuff. And the only reason they're going to spend time with me is for their reason, not mine. So I just want to find out their reasons. So I ask questions and then I tell them the things that they just told me and they go, wow, you're in my head. I've even had people say that. It sounds like you're right in my head. I'm like, yeah, I'm repeating the things you just told me. So in the very beginning, I'll just do a simple setup like this. I'll say, Oren, thank you so much for your time today. Again, I'll use my Southern gentleman. I'll go, I just am so grateful that you took time to spend with me. What I want to make sure is we still have 20 minutes. And you say yes. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm just getting you to begin to step into agreeing with me. Now, this is not a tie-down situation. I'm just making sure, because once you say yes to me, you're pretty much compelled to keep that commitment. So if I say, do we still have an hour? You say yes. I know in the middle of it, you're not checking out. Then I'll say my core objective today is really to find out a little bit more about how you and your team do these things. And from there, if it makes sense for us, and listen, it doesn't always make sense because we're not the right fit for everyone, then we can talk about the next step. Is there anything you want to put on the agenda? And then you usually say no. And I'll say, well, if it'll be okay with you, what I'd like to do is start with a few questions so I can understand you a little bit better. Then we can talk a little bit about me. And then from there, if it makes sense, we can decide together to move to the next step. The takeaway was in the middle when I said, we're not the right fit for everyone. It's very subtle, right? It's a really, really subtle. But you can watch body language in that moment because as soon as you say it, they'll just lean forward just a little bit. Every once in a while, they'll go, what do you mean I'm not the right fit for you? But that doesn't happen often. So I began using the takeaway just a little bit all the time. But even a non-complimentary behavior, like you come at me and go, listen, I just got to make sure your prices aren't too high. And I just relax and lean back in my chair and just write it down. Is there anything else? Even that is a takeaway because I didn't give them what they wanted, which was a fight. Tell me yours.
So criticize me 2 things. If they say, hey, prices are too high, I go, yeah, they are. It's more than you want to pay and less than we want to charge, for sure. We do this. How are you different from the other guys? Well, we're not different. We're exactly the same. You can go to Newport Beach, swing a cat around 5 times and find 9 investment bankers and they'll do exact same thing we do. The only difference I would say is that we actually get it done, but we all do the same thing. It's investment banking. What the fuck do you think it is? It's not a tea party. That's what we all do, right? There's only 3 ways to do it. The only difference is some people actually get it done and other people charge and languish and it never happens. So I will do something as early as after hello, which is hey, I'm like a fisherman and you guys are like that lobster at 0.999 pounds. And I'm trying to figure out, do I keep it or do I throw it back in? And I have a very short period of time to figure out if we're right for each other. You guys want to find the right person? Most of the time here, I'm interviewing you because we don't have this problem. I do this, we fix this problem all the time. You have the problem. I just need to figure out how far down the road to hell you guys are. And if I can willing to invest my time and money to bring you back to, the winner position.
The takeaway works with everybody. It just, the words change and it shifts and it can be an in-your-face takeaway. And I'll use it, I've got a CEO who's because I'll get people on, usually after my sales teams run through something, I'll have people on and they'll do a direct challenge. And I had a CEO said, I need you to close me on this. And I said, I'm not closing you on this. This is a lot of work for you and a lot of work for me. what you and your team really need to do is go back and decide whether or not you really want to do that, and call me when you're ready.
This is for people listening. When somebody says your price is too high, agree. When somebody says you need to close me, no, that's not what I do. You close yourself, right? When somebody says, hey, in 1 minute, tell me about your deal. But you tell me about your deal in 1 minute. Let me see a demonstration of how that's done in a 1 minute. Like, I'm happy to do it in 15 minutes, but like, if you're that unreasonable. So I think what Jeb is saying is when somebody is unreasonable, just tell your truth. If you're planning to become a deal maker at this level, make sure to join the Daily Dealmaker. We get into one little piece of this daily. And so you're just stacking and stacking and stacking these tools and tactics and strategies until they come out of you as naturally as they come out of me and the people that I work with. Add the tips, tools, strategies, tactics a little bit every day. And by the end of a year, you'll be a totally different, new, improved person and a very strong deal maker.